Please welcome Dr. Sabine.
Is it switched on?
Yeah, it's on.
And this one I just Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sabine Scheucher. It's such a privilege to be here. So first of all, I would like to say thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about my work here in Asia in the morning. The topic for today is culinary herbs, specialty greens and high-value fruits, and small-scale alternatives. This is quite a wide topic, and what I would like to do in the morning is to give you an overview of my research and also give a few examples of varieties you could grow. And I hope that some of the ideas will inspire you to try something different and give you some ideas what you could do after the conference as you go back to your own farm or project. First of all, I would like to introduce myself briefly. You can tell by my accent, English is not my mother tongue, so please excuse any mistakes. I'm botanist and also studied education and horticultural therapy, and I'm from Austria. So I'm working for many years in Asia. Today I prepared well. And here's a map. So Austria is a small country in Central Europe, close to Italy, Switzerland, Germany, different countries. And Austria is a small country, but it's also world leader in organic farming. In some provinces, there are up to 30% organic farms. I worked for many years in the Himalayan region, particularly Nepal and Tibet, and also a little bit short time in North India. What I did do there were different projects, mainly research up in the mountains on medical herbs, and I helped with some product development, mainly herbal products and essential oils, and also training and rehabilitation projects with the refugee community in Nepal and leprosy patients in West Nepal. I'm now in Okinawa in the southern part of Japan. And Okinawa is very different from mainland Japan. It's very close to Taiwan. It's only about 50 minutes flight, and it takes about 2.5 hours to Tokyo. So very different from mainland. The prefecture covers about 160 islands, bigger islands. The climate is subtropical and even a little bit tropical in the south. We have a mean temperature of about 22 degrees Celsius, and it's humid the whole year round. There's no dry season, and from June until October, typhoons do impact the islands sometimes quite severely. The main crops are vegetable crops like sweet potato, papaya, and sugarcane, fruits, mango, pineapple, passion fruits, mandarin. Since last year, I work for Okinawa Tsurashima Foundation, and again, main work is on herbs, greens, fruits, and product development. And everything I grow is organically grown. And organic farming is not very popular in Japan. It's still at the beginning, so people are not aware of it. They don't know much about it. So often I'm asked, why do you grow organically? So of course it's in tune with nature. for me as a Christian, is an expression that I care for God's creation. It is good for your own health, I try to explain. And it's often much more nutritious, and the taste is often much better. There are different ways and different methods how you can grow organically. And what I do is I don't use pesticides and no synthetic fertilizer. You can see here neem on the picture on the right side as a substitute. I choose varieties that are suitable for the climate. They are much stronger. I try to improve the soil. I use mulch and fertilizer, like organic fertilizer, mainly now seaweed. And I try to grow different crops in one spot, so not only monoculture. So the first big block is on herbs and some features of herbs. Of course, herbs you can produce the whole year round in a subtropical or tropical climate, and you can also process them. I will come back to that later on. Particularly if you're a smallholder, you don't need much money, labor or land. And I found that herbs are very useful for rehabilitation projects and also for projects maybe trying to empower women. For example, it's a useful crop for single mothers who cannot work full-time. And it's also not so physically demanding work. I found that herbs are one of the easiest crops to grow organically. And nowadays, in many countries, there's a high demand, like many restaurants and hotels. Here in Asia as well, they have Western menus catering for tourists. It's a shame, but normally you can get pizza and spaghetti or just everywhere. And often to produce something like sweet basil can be very useful. And also specialty grocers and maybe farmers markets. I would like to introduce a few varieties now. Some of them are not very special, they are well known, but they are just in very high demand in many countries. The first, of course, is sweet basil. I grow different varieties of basil, but particularly for Italian cooking, you cannot substitute with any other variety. Sweet basil has a special taste and a special fragrance, and it does not work if you use another variety. I remember in the project in Nepal, we could deliver a lot of organic sweet basil to the hotels and the restaurants. It worked very well. It can be grown very easily, the whole year round. Again, the next one is well known is coriander. In Japan, it's still quite a new herb. People don't know how to use it. Maybe the same in Korea and other parts of Asia. Of course, Thailand or India cooking, it's very important to use coriander. It's again very easy to grow the whole year round. And the next one is dill. And dill is very popular in Europe, but I did not find it very often here in Asia. I think the only country is Laos, who does use a lot of dill in the cooking. Again, it's easy to grow. It's close relative to fennel, but it does not like the heat very well, so it's better to grow it in a cooler season, and not in the really dry, hot season. Can also be used for processed products like pickles and vinegar. The next one, this is also maybe not very well known, is French sorrel. I found that Japanese did like it a lot. It has a little bit, it's acidic, a little bit sour taste. The leaves are very pretty, the young leaves, and good for salads. Can be grown very easily as well, but better again in the cooler season. Oregano, of course, also important for pizza and Italian food, Greek food, Mexican cooking. And it's normally not used fresh, it's normally used in a dried form. So in Nepal we use the solar dryer. So there are different ways, if you're a smallholder, how to process the herbs. The next one is chervil, again, very popular in Europe, particularly in France. It's often used with carrot and salads. Very pretty herb and not very strong taste, and can only be used fresh. It's not, you cannot dry it or process it. Parsley, also very well known. It's funny, in Japan people don't know on the left side you see it with the broad-leaved basil. It's not known in Japan, or hardly any known. They all use the curly one. In Europe it's only for decoration actually, not for cooking. Again, it's easy to grow. In the heat, it's not so parsley is not so happy in high heat, so you should use some partial shade if possible. And the last one is shiso. Shiso became also nowadays very popular because of sushi. You can buy sushi everywhere, also in Europe. Again, easy to grow in subtropical, tropical climates. Nice taste and nice leaves. There's a green and a red variety. And also very healthy herb. I did focus today on culinary herbs, but of course you can grow, for example, herbs for medical use, for cosmetics, and for essential oils production. Why I don't want to go too much into it is I don't think it's so easy to do that if you have only a small-scale farm. What you should consider is you need much more space. You need often costly equipment. For example, if you have to dry the herbs, particularly for medical herbs, you have to dry them at very low temperature, and so you need really good equipment for that. Also, the law can be very strict. I know we had problems with the project in Tibet. It was not easy to get permission. So for medical herbs and also for cosmetics, you have to check the regulations of your country, but it can be really difficult to get permission to put it on the market. Also, and also the quality has to be very high, particularly if you think of export, maybe to other countries. The next big block is specialty greens. So maybe something like water spinach you can find all over Asia. So what I would like to think about now is something different, which cannot be found in your local market. And greens, you could sell them as leafy greens, unprocessed, or as mixed greens, like as a salad mix. This is very, very popular also in Japan. And maybe you have to wash them, the leaves, or cut them, so it's minimally processed. If you do that, you have to consider again, the produce does not last. You have to consider also food safety. If you have to wash the leaves, do you have access to clean water, for example? And you have to really make sure if you have staff that they are aware of that. and maybe you need cooling during storage and distribution. What we did in Nepal, we did harvest very early in the morning and also deliver very early in the morning, so it was not necessary to have any kind of electric cooling, which we did not have anyway. So some varieties again. Aram, sorry, there's low battery. What does it mean? Okay. It's okay? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Some varieties. One is ice plant. It's also not very well known. Very nice green for salads with very crunchy leaves. Very popular now in Japan. Japanese like it a lot, and easy to grow. The next one I grow is a rainbow chard. It's okay. Oops. It's okay. Rainbow chard. Swiss chard is very popular in Okinawa, for example, but only the green leaves, and they sell it in very mature stage, so very big leaves, and you cannot use them for salads or they're very tough, you can't even chew them really. It's just for cooking. So I grow now rainbow chard, again for salad. Nice colors and very popular, easy to grow as well. Arugula is very popular, of course, in Europe. Italian and French cooking also is called rocket. And a little bit peppery flavor. Also easy to grow. I also grow some salad greens. Italian varieties like Rolo Rosso, like a little bit bitter, nutty flavor. And endive. Again, most of the salad greens are better if you grow them in the cooler season. If you think of selling a salad mix, then of course you can play around with the colors, with the flavors, and also with the texture. What we normally use as ingredients are herbs, leafy greens, baby leaves, and also flowers. And here there are some examples what you can use. So for herbs, for greens, baby leaves and flowers. Many flowers here, which you can see here in Asia, are eatable. So edible. So I try to smuggle in here mini tomato, just because I found it such a useful crop to grow. And mini tomatoes are very popular actually all over Asia. I hardly see any bigger varieties of tomato here. And Japanese like it a lot as well. But there's normally only there's a small red variety and not very tasty. So I tried now different varieties. And they not only look great, they really taste great. So, and again, so easy to produce organically. You can harvest and harvest and harvest, and I did actually nothing for that. So yeah, just eating. Yeah. The next one is. The next big block is on fruits. In many projects I worked, or projects I got to know, fruits I just found they were never really important. And I think it's such a shame for different reasons. Of course, there's a benefit for the farmer, financial benefit. Often you get high price for good fruit. if you have a project, there of course there are employment opportunities. There's a reduced reliance on basic crops, staple crops. And many fruits have potential, yeah. If they're not popular in the raw state, you can process them. Yeah, I come back to that later on as well. Yeah, so marketing of processed products. Of course, there's an environmental value and the preservation of genetic resources, particularly if you use local varieties, very important. And lastly, also the value of fruits in nutrition. There's a direct correlation between low vegetable and fruit consumption and chronic malnutrition. And I found with all the pure communities I worked with that the staple food is white rice here in Asia and some kind of protein. It can be lentils or beans or maybe some chicken. But normally poor people, they have maybe a few overcooked vegetables, but no fruits. Hardly any fruits. It's a little bit different here in Southeast Asia, I think. There are some initiatives now, like Biodiversity International, that did research on vitamin A-rich banana varieties. Many kids I worked with in Nepal did have problems with their eyes because of vitamin A deficiency. And many fruits like papaya or mango could be grown so easily in the backyard. Yeah, just 2 examples. And also in the Philippines, the government started a big campaign a couple of years ago to promote fruit and vegetable consumption because they realized so many kids, again, of poor communities eat mainly rice and chicken. Some fruits you can grow. One is strawberries. There are many varieties now also suitable for tropical or subtropical climate. I think it's better if you can grow them a little bit like in higher altitude or in cooler season. The taste is just better. I grow at the moment in Okinawa mainly Japanese varieties. Again, very, very costly in Japan, strawberries. And it's a seasonal crop, mainly around Christmas time. Everyone wants to eat kind of Christmas cake nowadays with strawberries. It's kind of Valentine's Day. I think only couples go out on a Christmas day and have strawberry cake. But also in Nepal, strawberries, yeah, you get a good price for it on the market in the cool season. And easy to grow, really easy to grow. The next one is melon, not so easy to grow. I, at the moment, grow different varieties. Some from Israel and France and Thailand, and also some old varieties, local Japanese varieties. And melons don't do particularly well in humid conditions. So I really love melons, so I like growing them, but it's a challenge. So if you are not into melons, don't do it. It's too difficult. It's one of the most expensive fruits in Japan. So many farmers want to grow melons now. It's just such a business. And even a few weeks ago, one new project in Vietnam asked me to help to grow Japanese melons in Vietnam. And also here in Thailand, I saw Japanese melons. So it's really a big market, but it's not so easy organically to do that. So conventional farmers use a lot of pesticides right from the beginning. And what I did, I used the really old varieties. So with the new varieties, I think I could not do that. You see it on Israel and Chalendar from France. The next one is canistel. Canistel you can find easily in Okinawa, but people don't eat it. Yeah. So I think it's such a shame there's all this fruit on the ground, and there are really good varieties. Yeah, it depends so much on the variety and really creamy fruits. So what I tried now is we made different products. We processed canistel, so not the fresh form, but for ice cream and jam, and also for dried fruit powder. You can use again for sweets and bread, and that is very popular. And canistel is very a close relative to lucuma, and lucuma is regarded now as superfood throughout worldwide. It's very popular, the powder, and very, very expensive. So as a substitute for lucuma, you could use canistel in warmer climates. Easy to grow again. I also think mulberry is a great crop to grow, and can be found in Okinawa as well, the small purple fruits. But I grow at the moment a white mulberry with big white fruits. They are very sweet and easier to harvest. They're a little bit stronger and also great for processing, like dried fruits. Again, very nutritious and very expensive as dried fruits. But also you can use jam, juice, cookies, all kind of stuff. There are many rare fruits you could try. I think living in a subtropical, tropical climate is really great. You can experience so many different fruits from South America or other continents. At the moment I grow achachaido. It's from South America, but became also very popular in Australia now. Ice cream bean, also a little bit like cotton candy, the taste, but it's actually a bean. Then cocoa plum, a little bit, depends on the variety, can be sour. Blackberry jam fruit, it does really taste like blackberry jam, and it's great for processing as well. And queneba, also if a good variety is really sweet. So there's a huge variety of fruits you could try, and I did grow all of them just from seeds. So, and you can order them now through the internet. It doesn't matter where you live. So please try and be creative and try to grow many fruits. Yeah, it's really a big potential, I think. I would like also to think about processing. If you're a smallholder, of course it's beneficial that you can extend the storage life of your produce. You have reduced waste. Of course, often you get a much better price. It's a difference just offering the fruit or the herb, or if you do something with it. For example, you sell pesto made with sweet basil, can be very costly. So again, you can, if it's a project, there are employment opportunities for other locals and skills development as well for your staff. There are different methods you could use. So drying, preserving, pickling, juicing, canning, Again, what you have to think about is what kind of product, of course. What are the costs? Do you need any special equipment? Actually, all of that can be, you don't need any special equipment. You can it does not involve a lot of money. The market demand is important, of course, also for the product. I give you a few examples of products we made in different projects in different countries here in Asia. So, jam, honeys with fruits and herbs, chutneys, pickles, pastos, spreads, a variety of products. I think if you want to do that, also think about packaging. It's so important how it looks like. Try to think of some nice jars, or you can use herbal salt, produce herbal salt, herbal oil, vinegar, variety of sweets, juice, tea. Soaps are often very useful and look very pretty. And often if you have a project with people with special needs, it's great if you do something like that. Also crafts, candles and cards. We did a lot of that with the leprosy patients in Nepal. I would like to conclude with a few thoughts on success as a smallholder. Of course, there are many steps necessary in order to have success. I don't know, teamwork or knowledge, skills, patience, endurance. But what I often found is successful smallholder, they specialize. Don't try to do everything. It doesn't mean that you should depend on one crop, but try to think about a few things you would like to do or to grow, and aim for quality. This makes such a difference. It doesn't matter in which country you live. Again, in Nepal, for the jams and jars, we used really like handmade paper. And packaging can be very important, and your customers will appreciate quality. And the last one is love what you're doing. If you're not interested in cabbage, don't grow cabbage. So try to find something you like, and particularly also if you work with staff, you will inspire them as well, and with your passion for what you're doing. Thank you so much for your attention. I think in the echo bag you got at the beginning of the conference, there are 4 lists with all the varieties I grow, as herbs and fruits, and so you can take a look. And if you have any questions, I'm available in the afternoon for questions, but also anytime during the conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sabine. It was great. I really liked the last slide that you showed, just in terms of things to think about, in terms of taking this knowledge and actually applying it well. And I think this really sums up a lot of what you're about and what ECHO is about also.